Minimalists.
Nick wants to know, once you declutter, how do you keep from the clutter coming back?
So this is a fascinating question because, I mean, the typo notwithstanding, but it's almost like a Freudian slip there, right? But the people often think of minimalism as a destination. But minimalism is not the destination. Minimalism is the vehicle. That's not my pithy answer, but you can tweet that podcast, Sean.
Damn.
And so I want you to think about it this way. What Ryan and I use minimalism for is to live a more deliberate life. That includes with less stuff. But there are times where Ryan and I, we still have to bring new things into our life. We do so deliberately. But over time, sometimes those things stop adding value. And so when they stop adding value, we have to be willing to let go. Here's a pithy answer for you. The most effective way to declutter is to leave the junk at the store. And so there's always going to be a point where you have to continue to declutter. It's probably not going to be the same volume. If you're one of those people, like the average American who has 300,000 items in their house, I know because I was one of them. When you get started, you're going to be decluttering a lot. But even once you've reached the point of decluttering, or maybe even you could say you're a minimalist, there's going to be a point where you start to let go of stuff, new things that come in. So always be willing to let go, Nick.
Well, our circumstances constantly change, right?
Yes.
So you might, like Mariah and I live in a studio apartment right now.
Right.
Eventually we'll have kids and we'll have another bedroom. So we'll need things for that child and for that bedroom for the kid.
Totally.
So like you said, minimalism is not a destination. It is a tool used to live a deliberate life. So don't beat yourself up if you get a little bit of clutter in your life. That's okay. That's why you have minimalism in your life. It's so you can handle it as you start to notice it. I know, like I was watching I don't know, a few months back I was watching Hoarders.
Yeah.
And it made me question everything I had. I looked at our bookshelf. I'm like, I have a bookshelf and it's full because it's there. And my rule is like, oh, we don't have more books than can fit on the bookshelf. But even that, I'm like, that's still kind of silly. So I got rid of half the books and now half of it's empty. And it actually aesthetically looks pretty good.
And you're no longer a secret hoarder.
That's right, exactly. Here's my pithy answer. A life without boundaries is a house without walls. So, it's...
that doesn't exist, right?
It doesn't exist. You've got to have some boundaries set up in life. I mean, the boundaries we have in life, and just like walls in a home, it keeps things from going out and it keeps things from coming in. It works both ways. So you've got to have some boundaries. If not, then you're going to have a out-of-control life.
Real quick before we move on to our listener tips, Ryan, I just wanted to say that there was something that resonated with me there when you were talking about you and Mariah. And if you had kids, obviously, you would need to have another bedroom unless, you're just putting a crib in your studio. And that could work for a period of time. Yeah. It may not be ideal, though. And so minimalism isn't about deprivation. It's about finding the most ideal situation for you. And usually that means owning less. But in time, that might mean incorporating more into your life as your life changes. And I think the prime example here is if you go look at our two documentaries. You look at our first one, Minimalism, which came out in 2016, and we filmed it in 2014. So how old was I then? I was 32 at the time.
Oh, my God.
And I'll be 40 this year.
Oh, my goodness.
Right?
Me too.
I'll be 40 this year. And if you look at the new documentary, Less Is Now, and you look at my home in that one compared to my home when I was single without a kid when I was 32, they're completely different places. And so it doesn't mean that one is more minimalist than the other. It's they're both are appropriate for that stage of my life. And so when you compare the two, it's not equating them necessarily. It's just saying this was appropriate for me then. This is appropriate for me now. As what is appropriate changes, I need to be willing to change the things that surround me.